Well, on to a totally different kind of story about unions. Union bosses are on a big recruiting drive right in your own home. Listen to this. Home care workers are now being seen as a huge untapped resource for unions, and they are aggressively trying to organize them. Unions and many Democratic lawmakers say workers receiving public funds, like many of these home care aides, are state employees and can be unionized. But some groups are fighting back, including my next guest with us now, Vincent Vernuccio, Director of Labor Policy at the Mackinac Center for Public Policy. You guys are fighting this. Why?
Well, it's simple. And, a lot of these home health care aides, these are actually people taking care of sick family members. We did a poll out in Michigan, and over 75% of the people surveyed, these home health care aides, were actually taking care of sick friends or family members. It's people like Robert and Patricia Hind of Macomb Township in Michigan who are taking care of their adult disabled children, and
right.
The SEIU wants to come in, and because they're getting a Medicaid check, SEIU wants to take dues out of it.
Well, okay, I'm confused here, though, because it's my sense of this story that the SEIU, all of these union organizations want a piece of the pie because it's a direct way to get into the pockets of Medicaid and Medicare, and that many of these people aren't necessarily just family members. They're also people who work for organizations and hire themselves out for this very kind of work. What do you say to that?
Well, there are. Pew Research on the States, they did a study, and they showed that 4 in 10 Americans are taking care of a sick family member. So that kind of goes along with the 75% number we saw out of Michigan of sick relatives, or these people
right.
taking care of sick relatives. But yes, there are independent contractors out there that are doing this for hire. Now, the difference is that those independent contractors, they are employed by these sick and disabled people. So it's not like some conglomerate corporation
right.
that's paying them or setting the work rules.
Medicaid and Medicare would ultimately do the reimbursement. I mean, some people pay for their own home health care aides, no doubt about it. But at the end of the day, it's not likely to reach the family balance sheet. It's likely to reach the federal government's balance sheet. And I just want to show folks a couple of numbers on this score. Home health care workers are expected to reach 3.2 million by 2020. It's up 68% from 2 years ago. Take a look at that. I mean, it's shocking, the numbers. And you know, Vince, that this is only going to get bigger. Come on, at the end of the day, this is just a big pot of money for the unions, right?
Well, that's what the SEIU is doing. They're looking at this, and it's kind of like Willie Sutton. That's where the money is. The SEIU is seeing union membership around the country drop. They need to keep that forced dues money coming, and that's what this is really all about, Jerry.
So what should happen?
Well, the SEIU should get out of the business of trying to extort dues money from people taking care of sick family members. I mean, that's the first thing. We did it in Michigan. It took the governor. It took 2 pieces of legislation. It took the attorney general, and finally the $35 million that the almost $35 million that the SEIU skimmed from people taking care of sick family members finally came to an end in May,
wow.
and other states should follow suit.
Well, as we know, of course, these family caregivers are critical to people in their lives. I just wonder what happens if they go on strike. I mean, there are just so many complications because the service is actually in your home and it's so personal.
No, that's right. But, a lot of them are not going to go on strike because, once again, they're taking care of family members. I mean, with the Heinzes, their employer is their adult disabled children, so I don't think they're going to go on strike against them.
So these are family members in large part.
Yeah, that's what makes what SEIU is doing so ridiculous.
Biggest union probably in the country. Vince, thanks for coming on tonight.
Jerry, thanks for having me.